Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast right here on the Chop Sports Media YouTube channel and, of course, the premier podcast network. It is Dave Sturchio. It is nationally known comedian Bret Ernst and, of course, the Grinch, America's fan himself, Keith Ernst. Now, look, as we left the last episode, all three of us had the Dallas Cowboys covering. All three of us felt good about it, but had our trepidations. Sure, nerves, great. But here we are a week later, and the Dallas Cowboys have packed their bags. They have exited the facility, and the Dallas Cowboys season is over. Now, the Packers came into AT&T Stadium, where, again, 7-point underdogs, just the world picking the Cowboys. There are a couple trolls out there that would say, like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Like, yeah, sure. A little bit of everybody probably felt that Cowboy PTSD. I'll start with Keith. Season's over, man. 12-5, 3 years in a row. Mike McCarthy didn't seem like he had his boys ready to go. Dak Prescott played a mediocre to poor game, I guess you could say. The defense just completely, I don't know what the fuck, but when you look at this as a whole now that we've had a couple days to digest what it is and what it was to get eliminated from the playoffs in the wildcard round, how are you feeling on a Tuesday?
With more thought, it's originally, it was like a team thing, but it all comes down to how awful the defense was. They were fucking terrible. And, I stand by this. I've said it in the beginning of the year. That's why I know Bret was texting. We won't really talk about our text because it was kind of like, it was a tough game. But he was saying, rightfully so, the old Dak is back, And I'm not responding because I always kind of knew he was there. And what I'm trying to say is that my whole formula to win was to go through our defense, right? Don't put the game on Dak's shoulders. You can't do that. Even though we did it in Seattle, which is the one thing we talk about, okay? He couldn't do it in Buffalo. He couldn't do it against the Niners. He couldn't do it against Arizona. And he couldn't do it against this team at all. And it's not his fault. He's not a bad quarterback. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a good quarterback. He is.
He's an all-pro.
I want to keep him. We cannot make him the highest paid player in the NFL, though. I'm sorry. He needs to meet us somewhere. He has to, okay? And I know we'll get into that another time. But my point is, though, it was not his fault. Put it this way. With his 2 turnovers, the pick 6 and the interception, okay, say that happens. The score would still be 13-7 going into the half. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our defense could not, bro. The first 7 times the Green Bay Packers touched the ball, they scored 6 touchdowns, everybody. That's insane. And I don't want to keep talking, so go ahead, Bret. You can go because I got a lot more to say if you want to say something.
Bret, how are you feeling, man?
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you. Keep going.
No, because I was going to say too, and I think the coaches got too cute.
That's what. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
And one thing they did, which made no fucking sense, because all 3 of us were screaming about it all season. Get the running game going. Bro, their first 7 plays, they ran 6 times. We did. What the fuck are you doing that now for? We know what our offense is. Why are you getting so fucking cute? We're here. We got to do what got us here now. Now that we're fucking here, you're running the ball 6 times and we got to punt right back to Green Bay. What are you fucking doing?
Well, to your point, Keith, the whole we're here now type deal, right? How else did we get to this point? How else did the Cowboys get to the point where they won the division, 12-5, home game? Well, guess what? They did it playing defense and did a lot of man coverage. All of a sudden, you want to switch to zone and you want to just completely let these Packers receivers run wild.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. I'm in agreement with the defense, man. I mean, dude, first of all, they were lost. I mean, you see the D line and going, what are we doing? I mean, we were shook in our home, right? And look, Dak did not play that great in the beginning, but I agree with Keith on that. It wasn't all him. You know what I mean? Our defense just shit the bed. I mean, shit the bed. And shout out to fucking Love. Holy shit. That kid was throwing lasers.
Good. Yeah, kid's good.
So they were in zone the whole time? We never switched to man once?
I mean, we had some man coverage.
Well, here's an alarming stat. Ready? So I only saw this because I saw Rex Ryan ranting. And usually I don't like Rex Ryan ranting about the Cowboys because usually he just like hates the Cowboys. But he basically put this on Dan Quinn. He said there's 53 offensive snaps run by the Packers. 53. 48 of them, we had light boxes and more secondary on the field. 48 of 53. That does not equal tackling a fucking running back. That does not equal stuffing the run. It doesn't. No. You can't do it. And you said it to your point, Keith, last week.
Yeah.
When you were a little worried about Damone Clark, and we've talked about this stuff at length about the size of our guys at linebacker. The idea that Dan Quinn put in all of Cowboys Nation minds was we might have lost Leighton Vander Esch, this big fucking like jacked up, bigger size guy.
And by the way, that ended up being a factor.
Of course it did, because then you pretended that you can turn these safeties into hybrids, and it just didn't work. And I don't know where it got lost in translation, but the reason why we sucked again at stopping the run is because we didn't have the personnel to stop the run. You drafted Mozzie Smith, and he was the lowest graded performer of that game, right? And I'm not, again, Will McClay and Jones and they've drafted, I think, relatively well, right? We've done some pretty fucking good things via the NFL draft. Sure. But you were undersized the entire year. You relied on running teams out of the building in order for you to win games. And look, me and Bret were at one of them. Me and my brother were at another one, putting up 40 burgers, 50 burgers, doing all this fucking fun shit. But then all of a sudden, being up that much, guys, you know how it is. You're up that much. Do you think the opponent's going to run the ball? No. So we never had to fucking worry about stopping the run because we're up 25 points at home. And we were scoring all these points at home. So now you get back home, and what do you got to do? All right, well, guess what? The one bugaboo that we've been fucking dealing with for the last couple times is Aaron Jones. What do? You got to stack the box. You got to tackle this guy. And it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening.
I'll tell you what makes this sting less is that the Eagles lost. And
yeah, I mean, we all expected the Eagles to lose, though. Honestly, I did.
Not really.
I did.
I'll tell you why. All right, this is the hill. First of all, getting back to the game, then I'll get to my random points. CD was dropping some balls. We just were not. I don't know. We were both sides of the ball looked confused, and I really do think what Keith said that we were getting cute, and we just should have came with what we got. That old expression in baseball: you dance with the girl you came with. We're a passing team. And, if CD wasn't doing it, we still had Gallup. We still had, what's his name? The other kid, Cooks. Yeah. Then we start distributing. We got, what's his name was playing pretty decent.
Ferguson was awesome.
Ferguson, we got ourselves a tight end for the rest of his career if we want to lock that up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That dude is that's Jason Witten again. We got ourselves a tight end.
Yeah. But I asked the question. I didn't know who we were as a team. We had glimpses of who we were against the Niners. We had glimpses of who we were against the Bills. This is who we are. And, look, I do think losing Overshown, again, I think that kid will be, if he's healthy, playing to his full capacity, I think that'll be a bonus to have. But going into next year, but I mean, dude, our defense was just confused. I mean, there was one play where the defensive tackle was like, "What am I doing?" And then they snapped the ball.
What's crazy is, going into the playoffs, you're hearing all this hype about how many teams are going to request Dan Quinn to come in for a head coaching job, right? And I'm just like, all right, well, that must mean he's got to put his best foot forward in this game against the Packers. He needs to show everybody that, yeah, we're the 2 seed for a reason. We're going to just beat the brakes off a lesser team like the Packers, and we're going to handle business and go on this run. What Dan Quinn showed was that he overcoached his own scheme.
I mean, look,
you talk about getting cute. He got complicated. He was like, all right, what do we got to do? Because as soon as, and I said it in the text, and again, we can't bring up the text because it was just, there's a lot. But what I'm saying is, I said, if this game goes 14-0, it's done. It's done. There's no, I understand.
Starch, you've said that so many times during games.
Yeah, but I really, and I swear I never
you really meant this one.
No, I really, really felt it in my core that if you trailed a team with nothing to lose, who are playing loose and just kind of doing their thing, and Jordan Love's doing his thing, there's no way that this is going to end well. And go ahead, Keith.
No, I was going to say, now, bringing up the defense and Dak, and this is why this was the defense's fault completely. And I'll give you an example, okay? Let's go, 27-0. Bam, just jump to it. Boom, 27-0 after that pick six. Sure. Dak gets the ball, drives down the field, scores a touchdown. 27-7 going into the half. We get the ball back. We drive down the field, kick a field goal. Hey, it's 27-10. 17 points down with 11 minutes left in the third quarter. We got a fucking shot here.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, right down the fucking field and scores a touchdown again. Okay, fine. Dak gets the ball back. He scores another fucking touchdown to bring it back to 17. Still in the third quarter. Defense lets them go fucking 80 yards in 3 plays to jump ahead for pretty much good. That's when I knew it was over right there. Because I was trying to be optimistic. Like Bret's saying, was I wearing my glasses? Because I really thought we could come back. I thought at halftime they would just go right back to playing a normal fucking defense, whatever you practiced all week, whatever you tried to make cute. I know you were coming after Jordan Love. I know what his thought process was. He was like, you know what? This kid is new. He hasn't been in a playoff. There's never been a 7 seat to beat a 2 seat.
Keith,
Keith, and also, hold on, let me finish.
The 7 seed's been around for 2 years, so let's not get crazy.
That was my next point.
Yeah.
My other point is that if this was 2019, this is the crazy part. Packers wouldn't even be in the fucking playoffs, and we would have had a bye.
Yeah.
So think about that for the last 50 years in the NFL. What other teams could have done what the Packers did?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Adding the extra playoff game is actually legit. People questioned it, but the Packers showed that's a legit thing because teams get hot. They've been hot, the Packers. We've been hot before at the end of the year, and we never made the playoffs. I mean, now this gives a team an opportunity, another team that gets hot to grab a wild card and try to do something. So I do like the third wild card, believe it or not, even though if it was 2019, we would have had a bye. But I do like it for this reason because we might be in this situation at some time.
Rub some salt in the wound. We're the only home team to lose the entire weekend, by the way.
Well, how about this? We're the only home team to lose. Remember when we lost to the Niners at home?
We were also the only team.
That weekend, too.
Yep.
Awesome.
Here's the
All
thing
right,
now.
Go
ahead, Bret.
No, Sturch, ask you a question.
No, I was just going to, I wasn't really going to answer. There's plenty more that I want to talk about. So go ahead, Bret. Go ahead.
No, so now, again, this is what I want to hit on because, again, the NFL, they, everybody loves this is comical. I mean, this is a comical, it's so funny to the point to where it's ridiculous that Dallas, this is just typical Dallas shit. Everybody, of course, jumps on it. They love fucking shitting on us. There's got to be rules to talking shit. Right? Like, you got teams that didn't even make the playoffs that are sending memes. And, I mean, dude, it's ridiculous how much hate this team has. Now, is it part of our fan base? Yeah, because I'm not a fan of a lot of Cowboy fans. I know because just the way they are, this is just ridiculous. Like, the rules should be, first of all, if you didn't make the playoffs, you can't talk shit, okay? If your team hasn't won a Super Bowl in over 40 fucking years, you can't talk shit. All right. I mean, there's just so much shit talking, especially from our
that's
friends.
the thing, Brett. That's the thing, bro. That's their saving grace. That's the Giants fans saving grace. When the Cowboys are eliminated, it's like almost as if they just won the game. Like the Giants, who weren't even involved, just won the game.
Raider fans talking shit.
That's
you know, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
but dude, the Cowboy fans talk shit too, though, man.
No, that's no. I meant when
I'm just saying, I have to disagree with you guys, and I know where you're coming from.
Wait,
I know where
so
you're coming from. Okay.
So in other words, if like the Eagle fans, I have a bunch of friends that are Eagle fans.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we lose, they're talking shit, and then they lose, and then they're bringing up, well, we won in 2018. The funny thing is, I don't know any Cowboy fans that bring up our Super Bowl wins. You know what I mean? I don't.
No.
Me personally,
Brett, there are the whole kiss the 5 rings type Cowboy fans. Trust me when I tell you that. I know Cowboys.
I'm saying that there's not a team.
I say it all the time.
My newest thing, Keith, is, the Cowboys haven't won in 30 years. And I'm like, well, you've had 30 years to catch up.
That's the best way.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, all right, cool. But talk shit when you're up there.
But I'm saying, like, Niner fans haven't won in 28 years.
But dude,
they're about to win this year.
The thing I think is, and I know this sounds, it's still fun, man. It's not like somebody died or something. You don't make fun of somebody in a.
Well,
it's
not
still
that serious.
No, I know, but people, most people, if they really like Sturch, I saw your post and I thought it was awesome what you wrote. I don't know if I don't know if you'd want to bring that up or not, but the post about talking shit.
Well,
here's my point. What you said was beautiful, but I think if you look at the comments, like the Rob Williams guy, where a lot of times when they're saying
what did you say and what are the comments? Because some people haven't seen it.
Well, hold on. Let me finish, man. I've lost my thought now.
Rob Williams.
Rob Williams. So a lot of times what you're saying, a lot of times they're saying it. I have a lot of friends like that because they like you, right? They're trying to have fun with you. If they really know that you're sad and upset and you're pissed and you're going to fucking, you're going to punt, maybe they wouldn't do it. They're just they're having fun with you, man. That's how it has been my whole fucking life with this team.
I'm talking like the Stephen A. Smiths. They don't know me. I'm saying that the joy that people have.
But that's a shtick by him, by the way. But yeah, I know.
Yeah,
right. I'm saying there's no other team this happens to. Nobody does this when the Niners lose. When fucking like Pittsburgh lost.
Well, it's because
Eagles lost. You don't see the joy.
Well, it's because here's the. I'll tell you.
I get what you're saying, bro. I get that.
Yeah, but I'll break it down like this. I, for one, am on the top of the list when it comes to haters on Stephen A. Smith. I think he's a jerk off. I think he says a lot of things to rattle the cage type guy. But a lot of the things that he came out and said, man, I was like, he's got a fucking point. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the point now where the standard that people have put on the Cowboys, including Dak Prescott in a lot of his interviews, the standard around here is Super Bowls. The standard around here is to win championships. Okay, well, Dak, you haven't won shit. So the whole I suck today stuff has now grown tired. It's now tired to say, like, I wasn't well. And then we're like, well, what about Mike McCarthy? And this is all post-game press conference asking Dak, what do you think about the rumors of Mike McCarthy? He's like, well, you better put me on that list too. You better cut me or fire me too.
Well, you got to realize, but you're talking to these people after a huge defeat. They're going to say shit sometimes they might want to backtrack. I mean,
correct. And you know what?
It's just like us as fans. We say things right after, and then you think about it and like, maybe I should have said that.
And that is literally why we record on Tuesdays, right? So we can have a day buffer to fucking really.
I mean, that's how we got. Me and Bret got fired from blogging. Honestly, so we got fired. Anyone that doesn't know this story, after that 49er loss 2 years ago in the divisional playoffs, my brother and I were in Vegas, surrounded by Niner fans watching the game. And we were fucking drunk, and Blogging the Boys wanted a show from us. And Bret and I didn't even bring my computer. And we did it on my phone microphone. And we were so fucking lit and so angry that
as we
the next
should
day
be
we got
as
the
fans.
phone call.
As we should be as fans, but like we shouldn't also like these whole live reaction shit. Yeah, it'll get clicks, but yeah, it'll lose your job too. But no, but on the real, like my post was to basically tell, like, it's a loser mentality when your first thought is to attack somebody that you apparently either think you're friends with like, or just completely just.
You guys are missing the point. You're missing my point. My point is,
No, I'm just reiterating my post. You asked me
Dallas,
what my post was. I'm just telling you.
No other team gets the hate that we get when we lose. And look, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. It's annoying. And the other thing is, I'm more hurt than angry. With Dak, even this last game, I can't take this anymore. I'm telling you, man, I've been a fan. I got 13 years on you and lived through a whole decade, 10 years of the 80s, of the same shit. And I'll be honest with you, this game hurts because it's more disappointing, but I would rather just get knocked out in the first round than lose an NFC championship game like we did against the Redskins in 84 or whatever, 83, lose against the Niners like we did in 82. That's awful. I don't know what it's like to lose a Super Bowl, but I'll be honest with you. I would rather just get knocked out now than go to the Super Bowl and fucking lose. I watched those Pittsburgh Steelers highlights when we lost in the 70s, and I wasn't even old enough then to understand football, and that hurts a lot. Watching those games, how we could have fucking won.
I tell my dad all the time. I'm like,
I hate this team so much.
I was like, Dad, I don't know how you survived the Jackie Smith drop. Like that to him was my Tony Romo bobbled snap. Like that was the same moment. Like you just had a chance to win and you blew it. But anyway,
there's something behind that. But regardless, what, bro? All right, let's break it down, and we know why. All right, since we're stressed on the media and everyone coming after us, it's because America loves the Dallas Cowboys, and we're the most. We know this. I know I'm reiterating stuff. You go to every state, we're everywhere, and the thing that bothers people and that gets in their heads is that has a part of this. Why are you a fan of the Cowboys and you're not from Dallas? They don't understand why we are, why Sturch is, which he explained in his post. What I said, and I'll stand by this, we're logo fans. And I told you this. I like that. I'm a logo fan. Bret's we're rooting for the we're not fair weather fans. We're loyal fucking fans. Meaning when we realize we're in Jersey after we were watching the Cowboys when we're kids, we're not going to say, oh, now I'm a Giants fan. Fuck the Cowboys. No, we stuck with that team because that's the team we chose. And there's a lot of people out there like that. So, and I think people know that. And the fact that we haven't jumped in 30 years and we're still the most successful franchise, that's the reason they're doing it.
Yeah,
they want people to jump and we're not jumping. And it bothers them. It fucking bothers them.
I understand why. It's just like, I mean, a lot of Eagle fans, you guys got a lot of balls. I meant to be talking shit right when we lost. And it's funny because they're not even in my head. Like there's this little group that is on Instagram that, a couple Eagle fans that I know, and they started talking shit right away. I didn't even fucking reach out to them when we won the NFC East. I didn't care. And now as soon as we lose, everybody's in. And then fucking Dolphins lost. Eagles lose. Again, I'll tell you right now, I am pulling for Detroit. I want Detroit to win so bad.
I think everyone is.
See, I don't know, man. After that whole debacle with us, it's
I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't want to see the Niners go in. And I want to see Detroit win something.
Yeah, listen, give it to Baker fucking Mayfield or something like that. Somebody that does.
I'll take that too. I'm
with 100%. Like, first of all, no for the 49ers. I don't give a fuck how many 49er fan friends I have. I'm not saying I want to see them miserable, but I don't want to see the Niners win another Super Bowl. Like, that's just not, for historical purposes, I don't want it.
They're gonna beat the fucking piss out of the Packers, bro.
My
gut right now.
My gut says no,
bro.
Says no.
Listen, Kyle Shanahan. They don't. Excuse me, Dallas Cowboy players, if you get offended by this, but they're not a bunch of fucking pussies. That team, bro. There's no way they're going into that stadium to pull the shit they pulled with us. They're gonna get fucking destroyed, and I'm not happy about it. I'm rooting for the. I like to see the Packers. I like
because then we do
But
we do the whole song and dance about like. As soon as we see certain things, like I did it as soon as I watched the fucking Tampa Bay thing, right? I'm like, so you're telling me that we definitely could have beat this team, right? And then you're looking at Detroit. Listen, that's what just happens naturally. It happens. I infamously remember the bobbled snap year with Romo, and I'm thinking to myself like, I remember the path after that. And I was like, wait a minute. All we had to do was beat the Bears and we would have went to the fucking, you know what I mean? Like the rest of the way is what you're looking at. And now you're looking at the rest of the NFC and it's the Niners, which is the juggernaut. And then it's fucking little engine that could Detroit biting kneecaps. And then you have the fucking Buccaneers, bro. The Buccaneers. And of course the Packers, who some say they don't even belong. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, if there was a year to fucking do it, guys, it was this fucking year.
No, 100%. I mean, we were set up perfectly. I mean, again, but we didn't know who we were. This is who we are.
Bro, I want to bring that up. You're saying we didn't know who and you've been saying that. But what I'm trying to say is,
no, I thought we did.
I knew who we were. But the problem is we weren't that good at it. And what we were was a team, which, by the way, McCarthy's Texas coach was amazing. And he even said what it's for. It's not to come back in football games, which we did against Seattle, but that's not, it's to maintain. If you look at our touchdown drives, they're 10, 12 play drives down the field, touchdown. You give the defense rest. They come in, you stop them. We go back out and do it again and tire the defense. That is what this team was. And we were not that at all on fucking and most of it was because of the defense, because I don't think there was 1 3 and out we had, so
I think Turpin was only back there like twice.
Yeah, there was only 2 punts, but I'm just saying there was no I'm talking about our offense. Our offense didn't have 1 3 and out. I mean, we either got a first down or whatever. So I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that it was our fucking defense, man. I mean, I'd put 90% on our defense in this,
which is just downright ridiculous to think about. Considering
I know,
the fact
that's what
in the modern era of football, if you're a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, which doesn't happen often, usually there's one that's better than the other. The Dallas Cowboys had a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, and they showed out to look like they didn't belong there on defense.
So I put a little list together here. And these are my top, because you brought something up, Sturch, in the last episode, which kind of like prefaced what happened. Because you're like, would this be the most disappointing loss if we lost to the Packers? And I said no, because we haven't done shit, and we haven't. I'm like, no, but I didn't expect this. I mean, if we lost, put it this way, if we lost by a field goal at the end, it would have hurt a lot more. But I'm more humiliated about this one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we've become, and it was my, again, I don't like having successful shitty tweets, but one of my best tweets that I put out this past weekend was, I'm embarrassed to be a Cowboys fan right now. I was embarrassed. I felt gutted. I felt like, yo, you're a fucking idiot for rooting for this team over and over again. Like, you are just a putz. Like, there's something wrong with you chemically that you keep coming back and saying next year. Don't worry, it'll happen.
It's an abusive relationship. That's what it is.
It really is, bro.
But I was gonna say, all right. So here are my 5 most embarrassing losses, not the ones that hurt the most. Okay, like the Dez catch in recent memory probably hurts the most out of anything, because I know that team was going to the Super Bowl. I fucking know it.
So did Tony.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, I'm going to start with number 5 that Sturch, you weren't alive. Obviously, the 44-0 to the Bears, because that was
what year was that?
85.
I was alive.
Oh, sorry. All right.
I was a little Sturch.
Yeah, little right there, only because Jimmy the Greek picked us to win all that, and us, the Dallas Cowboys, losing by that amount, or any NFL team by losing by that amount at home, was very embarrassing. Number 4, you and I talk about this all the time, Sturch, is the inaugural Texans. I mean, just about every team in the Super Bowl era, even in the 60s, their first game, they lost when they first, came into existence. The Texans beat us.
Which, by the way, now the Texans have more playoff wins than the Cowboys.
I know, I saw that. That's embarrassing, too. So that was an embarrassing loss, because even though we had Quincy Carter at quarterback, but still, that defense was pretty damn good.
You put some fucking respect on Quincy Carter, bro. I don't know.
And the third one is we talked about it. We just talked about it last week, 1998 wildcard game. We lost to the Cardinals at home. That was shocking, because we had the big 3. We had Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith, and they could only score like 10 points. Very embarrassing to lose that game. The second one, and I'm down to 2.
Can I guess?
Yes.
2007, Romo against the Giants.
No, that wasn't.
I mean, we were the 1 seed with a bye, and
but like I said, they went the distance. The Giants, they got in and they beat a playoff team before in Tampa.
Okay.
Was it disappointing? Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking. But embarrassing? No, it wasn't embarrassing.
Oh, then this one has to be one of the Niners ones.
No.
Really?
No, because you're still thinking being, sad and disappointed. I'm talking about being embarrassed. The Ravens.
I mean, Dak Prescott got buffed.
The Ravens.
Oh, the one we closed out in Texas?
In Texas Stadium, I was at that game. Was so fucking embarrassing the way that team gave 2 shits about closing a legacy in that fucking stadium.
I got in such a bad bar fight that night.
No, it's bad. It's bad. That was fucking awful. That was awful. Which brings me back to your question that you asked last week. You were actually right.
Yeah, I know.
This, to me, is the most embarrassing loss in the history that I've been watching. I can't go back to the 60s and some of the 70s. Well, actually, the 70s, too. I can't go back to that. That I've been watching the Dallas Cowboys have. Fucking embarrassing. And the way it wasn't that we lost everybody. It was that we were dominated. The fucking Packers, props to the head coach for taking his fucking foot off our throat. They could have put up 70 points on us if they wanted to. That could have got fucking probably the most embarrassing postseason loss in the history of the NFL if they wanted to keep going. So this is number 1. And and like you said, Sturch, we deserve it all, bro. And that's another thing. I get what you're saying. They deserve it. Did you see what fucking what's his name did? Jordan Love to close out the game?
No.
So he went under center and he was like, when you do the victory formation, he's like, here we go. And he fucking nailed it.
I didn't see that.
But you know what? Good. Fucking good. It's we're just
Why am I not here?
We deserve it. No, we deserve it, bro. We deserve it. I mean, that was fucking embarrassing. And another thing, did you see this, Sturch, again? He did it again.
Yeah. No, every time he wiped his own jersey, fucking first time, wearing sunglasses on the sidelines like a piece of shit.
When we played him, so just so you know, I looked at every Aaron Jones game that we played.
At my house, there's a hole in my wall. I call it the Aaron Jones hole because I fucking punched a hole in the wall.
So since 2017, every time we played him, it's been over 120 yards, fucking 4 touchdowns. He had over 200 total yards one time. But the one time where I think it was his rookie year when he broke for a touchdown and he turned and he waved to the player.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And then he did it on the goal line over here.
Mm-hmm.
He did the same fucking thing, that little motherfucker, bro.
I'm telling you, man. It's just
the disrespect was just all over the place.
It was all over the place.
And they took it. They fucking took it.
Did you see the beginning of the game on one of CeeDee Lamb's routes? Jair Alexander just pushed him, like shoved him. Did you see that one yet?
Mm-mm.
So he shoves him, like almost like just gets off him, and like CeeDee Lamb just puts his head down and fucking rolls off. I'm like, you got punked. You got punked by a better, more hungry team.
Here's the thing, too, is that they're doing that the whole game. These are just the public ones that everybody sees. They're talking shit the whole game.
Yeah.
But, at the end, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, we got to figure this out. And, again, what's insane to me is how the NFL is now, right? So take what's his name, Sirianni, the head coach of the Eagles. All right. He goes to the playoffs his first year, goes to the Super Bowl his second year, playoffs third year. He's on the hot seat. McCarthy goes 12-4, 3 years in a row, 2 NFC East titles, and he's on the hot seat. Now again, what do we do? That's the thing that hurt. Sucks the most is how we're in limbo.
Well, all right, bro. That brings a good question up. No, that's a good question. So let's get. But before we get to that, I just want to say one more thing because we were talking about CeeDee Lamb. Did you guys see the play when we were down 3 touchdowns and he got a first down and he does this?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
And I talk all.
I didn't mind that.
Oh, what? I did. I didn't
because if I want him to. I was hoping they would get back.
Bro, it was like a 12-yard pass.
If they were doing it.
But it wasn't a big pass.
I don't care.
Listen, in Bret's defense, he probably wanted a little bit of a spark.
Whatever gets him in the game, if that's what gets him in the game, that's fine. But obviously, it didn't get him in the game. I mean, look, we started.
All right, let's go back to the question. So, all right, bro, you go first. What do you do right now? And let's not interrupt each other.
I don't
All right,
know.
so
Well,
you
no.
want to pass.
No,
I know
no.
what I have my
I know
suggestion.
exactly
All right,
what
so
they
then
need to
go
do.
ahead, Sturch. Go ahead and say what you want to do. What can we do to fix this?
We fire him?
You
I
start
don't know, bro.
listen, it's so awesome to go 12-5, right? It's so awesome to have such a successful regular season for the last 3 years. It's great because we're winning games the way we're winning games at home. Like we're getting, it's all fun. But when we get to the playoffs, for whatever reason, and I can't even, as happy as I was to beat up on fucking fragile fossil Tom Brady last year, right? Which is our only playoff win under Mike McCarthy. That was great. But you are judged based on, if you want to set standards in the NFL, how many titles you can win. He didn't even have to win a fucking title this year. He could have went to the NFC title game and lost and probably said, you know what? We broke that hump. Next year, we kick the door down and we get to the fucking Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. You have to start and set a precedent right now, because if you roll out the same fucking thing next year, why are we sitting here, me, you, and all three of us and every other Cowboy fan? What is different at the top? We see what he can do in the regular season. Awesome, great, dominating teams. Some games are complete stinkers. But when you get to the biggest point of your career as a coach, your one job, and I'm not talking about X's and O's, I'm talking about mentally preparing your guys for war, and we've come up short in a big, big way too many years in a row. If you can't get your boys up, then that's it. Something's got to change. And look, it starts at the top. Jerry Jones is not going to fire himself. Jerry Jones is not going to tell his son, you're fired. That ain't happening. Get it out of your heads. What has to happen is Jerry Jones is 82 fucking years old. If he wants to see any more success from this team, he's got to make a drastic swing and hit the fucking thing out of the park. We saw what happened. We saw what happened in 2003. Right before that, it was Campo. It was fucking Chan Gailey. It was a bunch of schmucks as our coaches. He said, the fucking hell with this. I'm going to fly to Teterboro, and I'm going to talk to Bill Parcells, and he's going to be the next coach. He has to do the same thing now. Make the fucking switch.
Well, let me finish. All right, so make the switch, Starch. Who would you want?
I was not sold on it for 2 days, but after listening to players talk, not fans, not media members, players, guys that have played for this man, it's Bill Belichick if he's available.
Okay. So
it really is.
Bill Belichick. So firing Wade Phillips, getting Bill Belichick, coming in, and Bill Belichick saying, Jerry, you want me to win this fucking, you back the fuck off.
Well, you fired Wade. Well, you fired Wade Phillips. I'm firing Mike McCarthy. So you just said Wade Phillips. I don't know.
Right.
You guys
here's what I want to say.
He's gone, by the way.
Taking Bill Belichick is a definite Jerry Jones move because it's a high-profile coach, a legendary coach. We're going to bring him in. The only positive would be that Belichick would say, the only way I'm coaching this team is if you let me, you back off. That might be the only thing that could benefit us. But to build a team, to get rid of McCarthy right away, I don't know.
Not right away, though.
Well, I mean, we'd have to fire him. Now, here's my question, though. If Green Bay goes all the way and wins the Super Bowl, say, okay, let's say they do that. Now, he beat every coach. They beat every coach, right? Whoever's in the playoffs and whoever.
I usually do that. I usually say if we're going to lose to anybody, and let's just say arbitrarily it was the Niners 2 years ago. Yeah, if they win the Super Bowl, we just lost to the champs. I get it. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying the whole league did. The whole league lost to him.
Yeah, but basically. I would say that it wasn't just a loss once again.
Yeah, it was a fucking thrashing.
That was fucking humiliating, man.
that was embarrassing at home.
That was fucking. I mean, even if the Packers can go through, and maybe win by a field goal. That's I
don't want to lose. You know what? I don't want to lose. What's his name? Al, the defensive back coach. I love. Well,
I was talking to, unfortunately, my business partner is the diehard Packer fan, so I had to face the music early. But I said, I was like, I would promote if Dan Quinn's going to leave, I would promote Al Harris and give him a shot. But is Al Harris just there because Mike McCarthy's the coach?
All right. So you guys got a shot. This is what I want to say. I know. I don't have to say. I'm not going to say if the Packers went out. I don't give a fuck. Our season ended. and this is how I go in. All right. I'm keeping McCarthy. And would I be upset if they fired him? I don't know. But I would keep him. I'd go another round. And I know. Now, here's the thing. What he did with the offense, that's what I'm looking at. That's the best offense I've seen us have in a long fucking time. Okay? And it even tried to resurrect us in this game. So I don't think McCarthy was the problem for that. Now, when you're talking about mentally, and we all saw Jimmy Johnson's halftime speech, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. But look, man, and I'm sure a lot of other, especially athletes, grown-ass men, you don't need that. You're a fucking adult. You're a grown man. You need somebody to get to talk. You should be getting up for that fucking game based on what everyone's saying to you in the media. Wow, everyone shits on you. You shouldn't have to be told those things. Now, we don't know what Mike McCarthy said either. We don't know. He could have said something. I'm not saying you don't talk to your players, but to make it that there would have been some magical speech that Mike McCarthy says and that's going to get all these guys fired up, that's fucking movie script shit, dude. No. So my whole thing is what you change is the groceries. All right. I like our offense. I think we need another running back. I think we draft a young, hungry running back that fresh legs, ready to fucking run motherfuckers over. But we got to work on our defense, man. And I'm okay. See, Quinn fucked up, and he knows he fucked up. Okay, he had a pretty good defense the whole year. He fucked up by getting, which we already started on this. He got too fucking cute in a big game. Now, and I'm with you, Sturch. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if he left. I wouldn't.
He's gonna leave.
I don't know who would take, but if he stayed, I wouldn't be mad.
Seattle's apparently the head.
But I wouldn't be mad either way. I wouldn't be mad either way. But what we need fucking headhunters, man. We got to find that guy on defense. We think it's Micah. And here's another thing. Do you make Micah the highest paid defensive player? Just yes or no?
That's what here we go again. Guess what? This is what the market's going to dictate that he should.
You say yes, and bro, do you say yes?
I personally don't say anything. I'm saying what I know is going to happen.
We keep we pay Micah.
Now here's my thing. If this was the 1980s, I'd say yeah. Is it really worth it now? Because these guys are getting held on every fucking play. They're not what they used to be. They can be, but why are you going to put so much money into a player that's going to rush the passer where you're going to let that motherfucker get held every goddamn play? I'm not spending the money because of that.
It's not a bad.
Because the NFL is not letting these fucking badass defenders be badass defenders. So I'm not wasting my. That's what I say. I'd pay the man if you guys made the fucking calls against him. Because it's dude, I can't believe they called that.
He got a couple the other day.
He got held like that's what has to happen for him to get called. They literally have to tackle him and stay on top of him and fucking he was getting held all game. Nothing. Fucking nothing. So why would I put that much money into that? I'd rather put it into my offensive linemen, tell you the truth, and get their hands real fucking strong to fucking, hold the pass defenders that are going against us. That's where I'd rather put the money.
No, I say we pay Micah. We need a guy like that, obviously. Again, I don't think we should fire McCarthy. I really don't. I agree with
He's got 1 year left on his deal regardless. So
yeah. So I mean, let's see what we do. Again, the defense is really, we got to load up, man. We need some run stoppers. We need a big body in the middle. And again, we lost Overshown, we lost Diggs. That's
secondary.
To me. I think. Oh, say what?
That's secondary though. That has nothing.
But I mean, that Overshown to me, man. That was a big loss, and
we don't. That's a very huge hypothetical. Man.
But again, I just don't like the idea that the way it used to be. If Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bill Walsh were in this NFL, they would have been fired already. You can't build a team, man. It's so hard to build a team. That's why this is a different game I'm watching.
Well, to that point, hard to build a team. You're talking about Micah now coming in on his option year, right? Where he'll either sign it or he won't, and he can hold out. CeeDee Lamb, same thing coming up, right? That was a 2020 draft, so that's coming up very soon too. So in order for the Cowboys to keep all these shiny pieces, you have to extend Dak Prescott. That's the way you do it. So now I beg the question to Bret first, since you're the one who boldly was behind him all year, and then you said out, right out of the way, the old Dak is back. What I say, what I'll label Dak Prescott is, what we saw on Sunday was playoff Dak. That's what I'll label him as. Playoff Dak was back, because when we got to the playoffs, every time there's some crazy catastrophic fucking thing that he would do. Now, do I think Dak Prescott is capable of winning these games? I mean, think about it like this, guys. We just said it. Like, if the defense didn't let up half the shit, I told my brother before the game, I said, we score 30 points, we win 110%, because we're not letting up 30 points to the Packers. We're not. And then lo and behold, this is where we're at. So now,
I don't know what the Packers were showing him, though, man. I mean, I was watching it. He was confused. And again,
that's
it didn't
the thing.
help.
They do a lot of dress up. They do a lot of dress up on offense. There's a lot of guys in motion. There's guys shifting positions. And you said it best, Bret. Guys had their fucking hands in the air. Where do I go? What do I do? It was like fucking Rudy. Where do I go? Stay in. What the fuck?
Well, dude, listen, I will say about that, though, and that is one thing. He did look rattled a little bit, Dak. And I'm the one, I can't believe I'm the one kind of more defending him, but he was in a spot he shouldn't be in. That's what I'm trying. I mean, being down, when that really started was when it was 27-0. When it was 27-0, because he doesn't, should I go deep? Should I go here? It kind of took him out of their game plan.
Keith,
that they usually do.
But I beg the question, like, Green Bay won the toss. They took the ball. They went down our throats, scored, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 2023-24 Dallas Cowboys, this team should have went down the field and fucking responded, because that's how we are. And we scored. We're averaging 35 plus at home.
But you're blaming it on Dak, and I already brought up.
I'm not blaming it on Dak. I'm not blaming it on Dak.
Well, what I'm trying to say is what came down to this was them getting cute. They ran 6 out of 7 times on that first drive. I mean, they should have just done what they've been doing all fucking season.
This is where analytics have taken over this fucking game, because coming into the game, the Packers were 29th against the run. So they're like, but then we'll just run the ball.
Oh, I get that, but that's not who we are.
No shit.
They're still NFL players.
But the Cowboys, the coaching staff, they decided, you know what? These are what the numbers say, so we should probably just do that.
That could be it, but I also think that they're going to be like, I think that they were like, also, they're not going to be expecting this because we haven't done it before. I think that had something to do with it too. And I'm not saying it was.
But how many times have you said that about McCarthy? And when Kellen Moore was there, hey, guess what? We're going to run this because they'll never see it coming.
Well, but my whole thing is though is once again, you get there, you do what got you there, and that's it. Fuck it. And I don't know. I'm not in the coaches' locker rooms. I'm not looking. I'm not in their headsets. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. But running the first 6 times, analytics are not at a 7. We haven't done that all fucking year. You're getting cute. You are.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just fucking we had very good first drives.
So who got cute? Who got cute, Keith?
They overthought it. McCarthy. So that's where I'm at with this. How many times are we going to go into games now going forward and be like, what the fuck? He took a shot and he failed. I don't think that's a reason to get him fired for that first drive. No. And the offense, once again, was not – they were trying to keep us in it at a certain point. The defense is the main reason we lost that fucking game. And I know you're bringing up extending Dak, and I'll say it again. If he whatever the market says, you got to give him this. I'm going to say, Dak, I'm not going to give you that, but I'll give you this. Meet me halfway here, man.
I'm on board with that.
CD, we want to keep this person. Instead of making $60 million a year, we'll give you 45.
Well, that's the thing. If you extend them, if you extend Dak Prescott right now, you can probably get away with paying him in the mid 40s. You could probably do that. I'm okay with that because that's fucking market value anyway. And
I'll do it.
He ain't Mahomes. He ain't fucking, and even Mahomes is like whatever. But like I will say this, in order to keep the pieces in place, and next week, if you guys will join me, because I know it's the off season and shit, but there's a lot to get into because there's a laundry list of free agents that we have to either to say,
yeah, I want to talk about that.
Stay or go. And we can talk about it next week because I think that's, perfect time to do it. They got to take care of their own. And by next week, we will have our answer on who's going to coach this team because Jerry Jones cannot sit on his hands right now because vacancies are going to get filled. You're going to lose out on the primo guy because you decided, I don't know what I want to do with Big Mike yet. And then Thursday's going to come around and all of a sudden Belichick's going to be the Falcons head coach.
So here's the thing, though, you could do too, Sturch, is keep them all for another year. We all know a certain coach is taking this year off. Mike Tomlin. Doesn't work out. You want a fucking motivator. You want a guy that that can talk to his players and has a proven track record. There's your guy right there.
I'll ask you guys this.
If it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I'll ask you guys this. Would you rather next year? Because look, the schedule is, we're going to have a first place schedule. We got the AFC North. We got the AFC South, I believe. You got the NFC South again, I believe. So the schedule's going to be tough, right? And I think we have an extra home game, which is nice. It's going to be 9 home games to 8 road games. And one of those road games might actually be in fucking London, or not London, Germany. There's rumors that they could play the Panthers out there. But anyway, would you guys rather just itch and scratch and claw and just get into the playoffs at the very end of the year where we get hot in December? Or do you want to be this 12-5, let's get a fucking bye? Because now it just doesn't seem to matter. You saw what happened to them at home. They got punked. Now, are you in the mindset? I'll start with Keith. Are you in the mindset let's just get in the dance and get hot in December?
Yeah, because I don't say to get home field advantage. I know we won 8 games there or whatever, but our crowd is not. I mean, there were 94 fucking thousand people there. There wasn't once where anyone was saying be quiet.
Right. It doesn't happen there.
It doesn't happen. We don't have that. And I liked it better in Texas Stadium because in Texas Stadium, you were more on top of the players. In this, everyone seems like you're fucking 100 yards away from them actually playing.
You are.
So I don't think it's nice to have, but I'm not crazy about it. I mean, hey, as long as we get in, and I prefer getting hot at the end of the season, of course, or going in, hot. Necessarily, we can't even say that we were hot because we weren't.
Listen, this shit is. I love you guys, but this is irrelevant to me. I fucking, I'm tired, man. I'm just tired. I'm tired of this. I'm just tired.
Well, that's a good thing for you. You get to take the rest of the playoffs off.
No, I'm fucking tired of it, man. I'm tired of trying to figure it out. I mean, I would have rather just, if we played hard and it was close and we ended up losing on a call or a field goal. I mean, we just got fucking blown out, man. It's just, it looks like a problem you can't fix. It's almost like I would rather, you know how a no is better than a maybe or never, or I would just rather have a fucking no. I would rather just us not made the fucking playoffs than to go through this shit.
That's a good point.
It's
yeah, it's like that with a lot of with in relationships.
Listen, understanding this, and my dad, who is not of many words, he had some choice things to say about this team at the end of it, and I was trying to hug him to say goodbye for the night. He's like, "Don't give me that next year bullshit." So he's like, he almost doesn't want to hear. He's like, hey, why don't we just not watch the regular season? We turn it on in January and see what happens. Because everything you get excited for throughout the course of the season means dick at the end. It really does. Did I have a couple awesome experiences this season? Yeah, I had a great season. Me and Bret had a fucking great time at the Patriot game. Me and my brother got sat in the rain when we beat the brakes off the fucking Giants. Those are all great memories. But at the end of it, the one thing you get to really remember the season by was getting punked in the playoffs again. Sucks.
Yeah.
The whole thing stinks.
For sure.
It just stinks. But
I would say, if next year, which is crazy, is one of the games, looking forward to it, is at Green Bay. Going back.
I don't want anything to do with that. Guess what? Here's my prediction. Right? You want a prediction about the fucking schedule next year? So the 49ers have a chance to obviously still win the Super Bowl this year, which if you look at it in the Bret Ernst on paper rule, they should roll over everybody that's in front of them going
and then lose to Baltimore.
Well, that could be, but if they win the Super Bowl, if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, put your fucking mortgage on the fact that Thursday night opener, when they're raising the banner, the Dallas Cowboys are coming to town for the opener. That's what I think is going to happen. But again, that's the NFL. They like their money. They like their ratings. They will draw. We will get to, and you know what? We'll probably win that game. We'll probably go out there, spoil their fucking their banner shit, and people are like, oh shit, we just beat the Niners. It's our year. And all that garbage. Look, it's been a up and down season. The Suns,
it was a fun season, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was a fun season, but for it to end like this is just, it's just garbage, bro. It's just a garbage performance. It's one of those things where, like, it's just disappointing. It's embarrassing. It's just tough to fucking deal with this over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't even know if there's a solution to the problem. I mean, these younger coaches seem to be the move. I mean, it's a different game. It's just a different game that the NFL is from what it was even in 2010. Well, it's unpredictable. I mean, look.
I can test
even look at Cleveland getting fucking blown out. I mean, you had the number one offense in the AFC that only scored 7 points, and then you had the number one defense that just got lit up. Then you have us, with Cleveland, and then you got us coming in, Packers coming into us. Our defense shit the bed. I mean, look, again, when it's all said and done, the offense did okay. Letting them jump ahead like that, a pick six, and then another interception on a drive, that type of stuff doesn't fly. But at the end of the day, it is the defense that really shit the bed. It's just, there's no, I don't know how to fix this. I don't think getting rid of McCarthy right away may be the answer. I mean, let's give him another shot. Maybe we build. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that we topped last year by winning the East, but then we lose in the first round to the youngest team in the NFL, by the way. You know what I mean? Of kids with no experience. It looks like we got outcoached, right? Or did
Definitely
we really get outcoached, or did we
yes.
Or did we blow it? Or did our coaches overthink it and it wasn't such a great call? All I know is even when we were, putting pressure on them, you had receivers open to 15 yards downfield in the middle of the field, right?
Yeah,
how many of those was ugly. Left throw where he just lasered it in? Nobody was underneath. I mean,
those sons of bitches, those Packers, man. It looks like they might have done it again and found themselves a fucking guy that's going to be a terror in the league. And
yeah, he keeps his eyes downfield.
Yeah, man. Like Jordan Love is. I hate to say, I saw it coming, but I really did have these feelings of saying, like, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we just get fucking beat up, because it's just
I know, but Sturch, on paper, as I'm going to say, that this should have never have happened.
No, it shouldn't have.
This is a total breakdown. This is a total breakdown on all facets of the game. From CD dropping balls to Dak throwing picks to our defense just letting them score at will. For us changing our whole game plan for what? Obviously, let's just attack. We should have just attacked them. I mean, look, Pollard, to establish the run on that first drive like that. I mean, just and if CD has the yips, then we got Gallup was making catches.
He went over 100 yards. Yeah,
Ferguson was making catches.
Yeah, if you came up to me and said, like, percentage wise, what are the chances of the Dallas Cowboys winning? I would have said 99%. That I've never been more confident in us winning a football game.
Now, I want to bring one thing up, because I'll try to go to some sources that have either A, played for the Cowboys, B, just knows the locker room. I talked to Jesse Holley right before the game.
Okay.
And I said, well, we're here. Are we getting this thing? Are we getting this dub? He goes, I honestly have, this is a quote from Jesse Holley, I honestly have no worry or hesitation that the Cowboys won't win this game.
See, yeah, I know.
So that's Jesse Holley,
who's completely, yeah.
Look at, if you saw the gut reaction or the gut feeling, everybody had the Cowboys scoring in the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
And that almost came to fruition. But yeah, you play this Packer team 10 times, I'd say the Cowboys would win 9 of them. You know what I mean? Like, and we just happen to have found the 10th game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just unreal how it always happens the way it happens. And I think, like I said, I stand by my shakeup right now. I don't want to blow it all up. I just need new leadership at the top to get these fucking guys to get to the potential of what they could play.
I want to respond to what my brother said earlier, though, about these are men. They are on paper again, but in real life, I know a lot of these guys. I know a lot of these football players. Some of them are professionals, and some of them are like children. And there was something I was watching online when Jimmy Johnson first came to the Cowboys, how he was cutting people right there on the spot. The ones that weren't in shape,
having asthma. He cut a guy for asthma.
What I mean? No, this isn't how this flies. And that's what Troy Aikman, loved about Jimmy Johnson. That's how you kept Michael Irvin, a young, wild Michael Irvin in line. And then, when he left is when say what?
I said to an extent, yeah. I mean, he was still getting arrested and shit, but yeah.
You cut, you get a discipline. Now, Jimmy Johnson would have got cut probably in today's day. So
let me ask you guys. I got a really fun question that was brought up to me on. Sorry, no, I was just gonna, in regards to Jimmy Johnson. If for whatever reason,
no, I'm saying
Jimmy
it's hard to lead. It's hard to lead a team with discipline when the players have all the leverage. Okay, when you can't really build a team like you could prior to free agency. But, a guy like Belichick was that type of dude. No nonsense. You're cut. You want to be the big guy here, or you're gone. If you're not performing, you're gone.
He shipped off guys. He shipped off linebackers to Cleveland. Remember? Like, he shipped that one guy off to Cleveland.
So to get that type of coach, I mean, I don't know if McCarthy's that guy, although, I heard players that played for him in Green Bay talking. They loved him. They would have died for him.
Yeah, all these players do too, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and that's a problem to me. I think that's a problem when you when I was growing up and you guys were growing up and playing the sports, right? I didn't necessarily like the aggressive coaching or the fucking angry yeller or the disciplinarian, but at the end of the day, those were the best coaches. So it's funny that you could bring up these guys, they love McCarthy. Well, maybe because McCarthy wasn't hard on them. Maybe, I love that guy. He's the greatest coach I've ever had. Why? Because he didn't make you feel like a piece of shit if you dropped the football. Like, you put the ball on the carpet in the Jimmy Johnson era, guess what? Your ass is out the game, bro. Not what CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball. CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball, and Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott went over to consult him to make sure, are you going to be okay, son? We're going to come right back to you. Don't worry about that. No, asshole. I don't give a fuck if you're an all-pro. You catch the fucking balls in the playoffs. And if you don't, you're off.
If you watch Troy Aikman on the sideline when they won the Super Bowl, that's the other thing he doesn't get credit for. He basically coached that team against Pittsburgh. All right. Because Switzer was doing nothing. And it was Aikman that was in everybody's face and was frustrated that there was no discipline. Now, again, I don't know if what this is like with McCarthy. I don't know if he's that type of guy. I don't know. But I'm saying
he won a Super Bowl.
Say what?
He won a Super Bowl.
I understand.
No, but I'm saying
at the end of the day,
who knows? I'm saying I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, but you can't we set everything up. The season was set up for us to at least to go deeper in the playoffs.
Now, I'll ask you this, Bret, and we'll close it out with this.
We got to close it out. I got to go.
Yeah, I'll ask you this right now. You're a Cowboy fan. You're frustrated. You said in I'm fucking, we're done. This team drives you nuts. Bad, abusive relationship.
I'm faking it. I'm in a marriage with somebody. I'm in a marriage, a loveless marriage that I'm just trying to stick it out and make it work.
So, but I ask you this. If they roll out the same leadership, and when I say that, it's Dak under center and it's Mike on the sidelines, are you going to be as emotionally pumped up and invested in this team if you're doing the same fucking thing over again? That's the definition of insanity.
I'll say this: if it's the same team and we improve on it, I don't think we should be taking people away. right now. I don't. I mean, we have a good team. We have
there's going to be a lot of guys that walk out the door. So
say what?
I said there's a lot of guys on that list. We'll talk about it next week they're going to be gone. They're gone. There's a whole new team that you have to think about.
All right. Other than we got to re-sign CD. We got to re-sign Micah. Like who's gone? Give me one.
Again, there's a list. The Gallimores of the world, the Tony Pollards, the fucking Stephon Gilmores. Like those guys are all going to be either gone or they better take hometown discounts because based on their performances this year, some of those guys don't really deserve big money. But we're going to have to play the fucking the salary cap gymnastics.
Now this is where a guy like Jimmy Johnson comes in, all right, or Belichick even, who's a great assessment of talent, where it's like, okay, I know we're going to talk about it next episode. This person underperformed. This person underperformed. This is what you're going to get. If you don't like it, you got to go. Guys like CD, guys like Micah, you got to keep them. I mean, especially Micah. That's a generational type player talent.
I think so too.
You know what I mean? And Dak is another one where Dak, look, you had this thing, but then you showed up like this in the playoffs again. You want this team to succeed. You're going to have to pull a Tom Brady. And you're going to have to take a less money. So, if not, if we have to resign him or fulfill a contract, then we start looking. We start drafting.
Keith, your excitement level if they roll out McCarthy and Dak next year, are you in?
Yeah, I already said I'm in.
All right. Well, like I said,
I'm not mad at it, but we can't be crippled.
Well, unless I'll tell you right now,
that could be a blessing in disguise. That could be a blessing in disguise where, okay, if we're going to afford this guy, now we got to start putting pieces in that are not as expensive.
We'll see.
You know what's crazy too is Sturch. I mean, I don't know how many times you said it all year, and I kind of believed it. Is you were just like, if we get home field advantage through the playoffs, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even one fucking game there against the worst playoff team. They're not a bad team, but the worst playoff team.
Yeah, the lowest seed. And that's why this is, and that's
why
I said last week, and that's why I said last week that this would be the most embarrassing, hurtful loss in history.
It was. Yeah,
it was.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the way it was put on us. Yeah.
With that being said, we hope you guys have enjoyed the Dallas Cowboys content throughout the course of the season. We'll be back next week to break down some potential free agents, some other free agents coming out the door. We'll talk about obviously the NFC and AFC championship game, which will be kind of lined up and ready to go. So we'll see who's going to be playing in that. We'll get down to brass tacks next week. For Dave Sturchio, Keith Ernst, Bret Ernst, this has been another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about them Cowboys?